We will be announcing the winner of the BC Children's Hospital Choices Lottery on the new news tomorrow, with proceeds from that lottery supporting programs and research like the child cohort study. For more on that, we are joined by Dr. Stuart Turvey, who leads that study at BC Children's Hospital. Dr. Turvey, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
So I know there's a lot of pieces involved in this study, but can you give us a sense of what the child cohort study entails?
Absolutely. So I'm really proud to work at BC Children's Hospital because we combine fantastic clinical care with a world-class research institute. And it's about 15 years ago at the hospital and around the world, we started to realize that asthma was becoming a huge problem in children. So asthma and allergies were affecting about 1/3 of children, with the number one healthcare problem for children. And we wanted to understand the cause of these asthma and allergies. And so we launched the child study. And the child study was designed to start at the very beginning. We recruited pregnant women, and they volunteered to be in that study. And we've been following those children now up to the age of about 12, so that we can understand what was different about the kids who developed asthma and allergies compared with the children who didn't.
Wow, so that is a long time to be working with that child. What does that involve for the people who are involved in the study?
Oh, we are so grateful for the families that volunteered. So pregnant women volunteered, about 4,000 pregnant women across 4 sites in Canada, wow. About 700 children here, women here in BC. And we've been following them closely through the pregnancy and then as those children have grown up. And they've been patient with us. They've let us examine them, take their blood. And one of the actually most important things they gave us was the dirty diapers, where we were able to study the poop and the bacteria that live in the intestines. Wow. And that's actually been a huge surprise and been one of the factors that we now see is associated with the risk of asthma.
Yeah, it's so interesting that this is such a long-term study, but you're able to really get some of that data that way. What have been some of the results that you've seen out of this?
Well, I think the most surprising and probably the most important part has been what we found in those dirty diapers. And so what we all have inside us are bacteria that are important for our health. We call that the microbiome, the gut microbiome. And what's happened is that babies are exposed to less bacteria now than they were decades or 100 years ago. We have smaller families. We live in cities. We don't live on farms. We use more antibiotics. And all of that means that some children miss these important health-promoting bacteria. And what we found through the child study was that children who had the highest risk of asthma were missing some of these important bacteria that actually train the immune system and prevent the development of asthma and allergy.
Yeah, I mean, that information would just be so important for any family to know. So what's your hope for this study, and what do you hope that these results turn into?
Well, I think there's two messages. There's one message for today about thinking about and protecting the gut microbiome, and that's about things like being really careful with antibiotics in children and only using them when we need them. And also promoting breastfeeding, making a situation where women are comfortable and successful at breastfeeding. We can do that now. The second, in the future, and what we're working on, is it may well be possible to replace those health-promoting bacteria for children who are missing them. And we're working on designing strategies to do that so that we can prevent asthma and allergies even developing at all.
Every diaper tells a very important story. Dr. Stuart Turvey, thank you for your time this morning, sir.
Thank you.